Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and a pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program KSF Awareness on Sky 107.1. KSF Awareness is brought to you by the Kingdom Innovation School of Science in collaboration with Blessed Kids International. And today's edition of the program is, by the way, February 18, 2022. My name is Matthias Labindi, your host. Our topic is the benefits of preventive health care. The benefits of preventive healthcare. Do you think that it's always good to go to the hospital, spend some money? How about you trying to make use of preventing yourself from getting sick? Well, that's what we're going to be looking at this evening. I say morning, afternoon, and evening because we have three of our panelists on Zoom, and they're joining us from different locales. So Dr. Mari is on Zoom. Mr. Atto is on Zoom. Dr. Paswe as well is on Zoom. But it's a pleasure to have at least one physical, interaction with another panelist. Also, Reverend Kamara is with me in the studio, so it's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. The program now runs from 6 to 7 o'clock, so you, the listeners, going to have your time also to participate. I don't want to talk much. I'm going to take a break and be right back. Case Health Awareness. Case Health Awareness is brought to you by the Kingdom Innovation School of Science in collaboration with Blessed Kids International. I have three of my panelists on Zoom, and welcome to the program. Let me say good evening to you, Pastor Kamara. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How you feel now?
Oh, I'm feeling much better now.
Yeah,
that's
strong.
why I'm here.
Yeah, it was kind of boring having you online while you're right here in Liberia. You're on Zoom, so it's good having you in studio.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and we have a very interesting topic this evening to also educate the public. But I'm told by the producers that we should be closing the program at most latest 2 minutes to 7 o'clock because there's another program that comes around that time. So yes, Dr. Mari is looking at me right now. I can see her as well. Dr. Mari, good evening, good morning, if it is morning from your end. Welcome to the program. Dr. Mari, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine. Welcome. How you doing?
I am well, thank you.
All right. Producers, do we have Mr. Arto, Dr. Paswe as well on the line? So let me begin with you, Mr. Arto. How you doing, sir?
I'm well. It's good to be here.
Yeah, good. Dr. Paswe, are you there also?
Yes, yes, Matthias. Thanks so much for hosting the program. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
He's always smiling. Welcome, Dr. Paswe. Let me get back to Mr. Arto. Mr. Arto, quickly. The topic today is very interesting. I can tell you how much I appreciate this topic because I've read a lot about it. But the topic says the benefits of preventive health care. Kindly give us the objective of this topic. Mr. Arto, please.
Thank you. Before I do that, I just want to quickly run through the COVID data in Liberia. Yeah, so as of today, we have 7,360 cases. There's an estimate we're having 2 daily infections, and there have been 290 deaths. We have about 1 million people vaccinated. We have the active cases right now is 1,323, and those that have recovered since the COVID, we have 5,747 people. So this topic today is a very interesting topic. Right. And what do we wish to achieve from this topic? We want to show our listener that there are simple, common sense action that we can take to prolong our life and live a healthier life. So today we and the other panelists, we're going to show people how we can do this. I know I can remember this advertisement I used to be on TV, Matthias. I don't know if you remember it. It said, because you can save a life that could be yours or the life of your relative.
Right.
So this topic just bring this advertisement to my mind. And also I have heard some people saying that, oh, we're all going to die someday and something got to kill you anyway.
Yeah, something got to kill
So-
someone. I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yes. So why do anything to prevent it? So as this topic states, prevention. What is prevention? Prevention is common step action that we take to prevent something from occurring in the future.
Mm.
So what can we do to prevent ourselves from sicknesses and infection? There are a lot of things that we can do as individuals, as people, and as a nation.
Right.
And the question that I have to ask, why suffer before you die? If there are things that you can do that will stop you from suffering and that will make you to live even a longer life. So suppose I tell you, Matthias,
Mhm.
and our guests out there, that by just taking certain action, you can extend your life by 15 or 20 years. Would you do that? So
that's going to be a giveaway. So I will certainly do that.
Yeah. yeah. So right now the active life expectancy in Liberia is 64 years. I hope that is right. I see other countries in the sub-region, Liberia is even higher than that. So, and they have better health facilities, and they have more preventative measures. Take for instance, Ghana is the average lifespan over there is 64 years, almost the same as Liberia. In Sweden, it's 82 years old. Most people live to be 82 years in Sweden. What's about Hong Kong and Japan? We have 85 years. And then in the US, they will have roughly around 79 years that most people are living and living a better life. So what are some of these practices that we can put into place? I'm not going to go into those
that's
now.
where
Yeah.
that's where so I just want to hold you right there. That's where my question is going to come in. But quickly, I want to get to Dr. Passaway. Dr. Passaway, during our last edition, somebody asked a question that appeared like he saw himself, interacting with doctors already in the hospital and they were examining him. So he made it seem like he was being treated. Do you want to provide any disclaimer about things that people should not expect from this show before we get into some questions?
Good. Thank you, Matthias. Thanks for the opportunity. I think basically this show is meant to help about health education, right? It's not about diagnosing and how to promote people to be more responsible for your health.
Right.
So yeah, the disclaimer here, we're not here to give you diagnosis, okay? It's mainly a health education, health promotion. So it's not about diagnosis. Yep. So we'll not be diagnosing people. Problem will be redirecting them to see a qualified physician or qualified doctor.
Right. So thank you, Pastor Kamara. You're right here in the studio. It's good that you come from a biblical background, and this particular platform is built on Christian principles, right? Established on Christian principles. So I want to quickly, bring this, common cliche we've always heard from people. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Can you attach? Does it have any link with the topic we're discussing today?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
How can you link it?
Because God Himself is a God of cleanliness. Okay. Everything starts with Genesis. Okay. The Bible says when God created the heaven and earth, it was clean, void. There was nothing like contamination associated with the creation of God.
Okay.
Okay. And He even provided the best place that we would call Eden.
Right.
With the garden, if you heard about the Garden of Eden,
right?
The word Edom is actually mean garden.
Right.
Okay. Order. The next Greek word that follows a garden will be order.
Right.
Okay, the place of order the nest.
Right.
Okay, so God is a God of cleanliness.
So when you prevent, given this topic now, connecting it with what I just said,
Right.
cleanliness is next to godliness. So benefits of preventive healthcare. Preventive healthcare also helps us to work in line with what the scriptures say about cleanliness,
Yeah.
which brings you, close to godliness.
Yes, that's exactly right. Because I don't understand. I don't even understand how people will think that God is not included in cleanliness, because sin, the word sin, sin itself means dirt.
Right.
It means filthiness.
Right.
Okay, we remember in Isaiah, though your sins is red as scatters and filthy as whatever, but Jesus' blood came to clean us up all.
So this is what case awareness is doing now. Though your health condition right now, I just want to put it to you, the listeners. You just listen to what Pastor Kamara said. He's quoted the scripture, but I'm bringing it to the health side. Though your health condition may be bad right now, but case awareness is here to teach you,
Right.
provide you education so that you can prevent yourself and be healthy again. Let me say my first question. And this one goes to Mr. Atto. Mr. Atto, I have a couple of questions here, and I'm going to share them. Why do we need to practice preventive health care in Liberia when we have too many health facilities, though they are challenged? But why do we need to practice preventive health care?
We need to practice preventive health care for all of us, for ourselves, our children, our nation. Preventive health care means that you can live a better life. And there's a saying that prevention is better than cure. And I will also add that prevention is cheaper than cure. So if you can prevent certain things from happening, if you can make sure that you are not inhaling air that you shouldn't be inhaling or drinking or smoking, there are ways that you can prevent this thing, or even trauma. We all know how we went through the war, and a lot of people suffer from trauma. There are counseling. There are simple steps that we can take to prevent sicknesses and diseases. But just before I turn over, I just want to make a suggestion. I was thinking about this topic last night, and I said, suppose each patient, when they go to the doctor's office, carry a notebook and say, doctor, please write in my notebook what you discover and what your recommendation. And every time you go, let the doctor put it in a notebook for you. So at least you can monitor, you can be on top, be proactive with your health. That, if we just practice that in 1 year, we can increase our life expectancy in life.
I doubt whether that will work here easily. Anyway, but moving forward, I'm going to give you my own experience as we go further. Dr. Mary.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Welcome there. So, Dr. Mary, I just want to ask you my second question, right? I know you can weigh in on the first one, why preventive, healthcare is important for Liberia. Why we should practice preventive healthcare in Liberia, and Pastor Kamara is going to come to touch that as well. But does eating of hot pepper strengthen our immune system? I usually don't like eating cold food. We feel that the food is so cold, and eating it, is kind of, you don't really feel the taste, regardless of the ingredients you put in it. We always like to add more pepper. Does pepper have anything to do with our immune system, good or bad?
There are certain foods that do help our bodies work better. Pepper is one, garlic is one, ginger is one. And those are common flavorings in food, and ginger also in tea. And they do help.
So how much pepper would you recommend, or pepper, by the way, would you recommend that someone puts in their food? Since
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, better.
Yep.
I was asking, how much pepper do you think we should put in our food, since it's something that's also
As much as you like,
as much as you like
according
it?
to your
Do-
taste.
doesn't it affect anything in your body? I mean, pepper.
Well,
Mm.
there's a chemical in pepper called capsaicin,
Capsaicin.
which capsaicin,
Oh, capsaicin.
yes, and that's the hotness. Here in the United States, we use capsaicin in a cream to rub on our skin. Like if our knee hurts, we will rub capsaicin cream on our knee, and it feels better in an hour.
All right. So,
So,
so what does this chemical do in the body now? This capsaicin, chemical that's found in pepper.
Well, as you know, when you eat pepper, your nose starts to run, your eyes can water, you feel the heat, and that allows, we talked last week or 2 weeks about how we have normal bacteria and things in our body that help keep the bad things out,
Mm.
and that we shouldn't be washing in places that weren't intended to be washed. But then when we eat pepper and our nose runs, we naturally clear out the dirt, the bad bacteria, that kind of thing, so that our body can go on to remain healthy.
So someone has ulcer. What advice do you want to give them? Someone is an ulcer patient. The person is also rating, yet they're eating pepper. Is there a danger
Well,
associated with that?
I am well familiar with how ulcers are diagnosed in Liberia, because someone very close to me was recently diagnosed with an ulcer, even though all the laboratory tests indicated that the individual did not have an ulcer.
Right.
So I think that's one of those diagnoses that you really need evidence. If someone truly has an ulcer, hot pepper will irritate the ulcer.
Right. Pastor Kamara, do you want to
But-
come? Yeah, please.
But most ulcers are not really ulcers.
Well,
So, I mean, most diagnoses are not borne out by physical examination and laboratory evidence.
right. Well, folks, I hope you're taking your notes, because we're going to open the lines shortly to hear from you. But Pastor Kamara, do you want to weigh in on why it's important for us to practice preventive health care in Liberia? By the way, let me just tease you a little bit. You came down sometime last year,
Right.
very strong, very healthy.
Mhm.
Boom, you fell sick.
Right.
Well, what happened? Is it the environment?
Well, the cause of sickness.
Dr. Murray, what is it? No, seriously. He just came down and I met him. He was so excited to meet me when he came down, and we met. I visited him at his house.
Yeah.
I saw this energetic old man, but suddenly he just started hanging out in poor health. Why do we need to practice, preventive health care?
Well, I think Daniel summed it all in his introductory remark.
Mm.
The main reasons why we need to practice preventive health care is for us to have this longevity, this long life kind of syndrome that we all talk about.
Mhm.
It helps us to also, if I may say, pick up the early problem,
Mhm.
something that is going to affect you. Keeping preventive health care will help you to pick it up at the earliest stage,
Mhm.
and it will also cut down hard financial burden on you.
Right.
Okay, if you put in all of these, but coming back to the environmental aspect of prevention is very, very important. Okay, I came from America, where there are a lot of preventive health care put in place
Right.
that we practice. Whether you like it or not, you practice them. Okay, you go to your office, there's a synthesizer, there's this, everything is in place for you to feel
Personal
healthy.
hygiene is all
For-
observed all the time.
all over the place. Now here you are, you're shaking people's hands, and
And sometimes someone feels offended if you don't shake their hands in Liberia. It's kind of
Right,
seriously.
right. So you do all of that, and that's part of the socializing
Right.
concept that we have here. So probably that could be some of the factor. But let me just say this, that I kind of pause for a while.
Right.
This is the reasons why right after this illness, a brief illness that I had, it really, really kind of took a toll on me.
Right.
What I did was that because I spend most of the time at the school, I leave my house by 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't come back until 7 o'clock in the evening every day, 5 days in a week. So what I did was that I put a robust preventive healthcare measure right when I came back.
Right.
Okay. I hire a janitor, another janitor. There are 2 now. Okay.
In your compound.
In my compound. So every day they're cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. As I'm talking, and I also bought some synthesizer and put in place. And of course, the hand washing is a robust one. You can't enter the building.
Here's the secret, Dr. Murray and Dr. Passaway. I'm getting to Dr. Passaway now, but here's the secret. He came and he felt that there's nowhere like home. Well, sometimes returning home can be a danger if you do not take surveillance. So he didn't take serious surveillance and he just left. Here he is now. He's putting a lot of things in place, but good that the preventive measure you put in place is going to help your family as well. But let's get to you, Dr. Passaway. Visiting the doctor in Liberia here, doctors in Liberia is very expensive. I'm a witness of this particular situation. Recently, a friend of mine, very dear to me, spent sum of $165 just for me to get tested, though nothing was seen, just for me to get tested. But there's something I'm very shocked about. This doctor that I paid to meet him personally, you go to the hospital, you pay for a specialist. The doctor doesn't check on me. I have to go to the hospital to say, that is where I feel, this is where I feel. So it's very expensive, just to sum it up. Because it's expensive, should someone sit somewhere in one corner and say, okay, I'm going to buy drugs by myself and treat the thing I feel. I feel headache. I'm just going to buy the pain tablet and treat myself. I feel this. I'm going to buy the tablet and treat any unusual thing I feel in the body. Dr. Passaway, what do you advise?
Thanks a lot, Matthias. So before I delve into your question, let me just throw a little light on preventative, just to add up.
Right.
So if you look at the word preventative or prevention, it means to keep from happening.
Right.
Keep from happening. So when we practice preventive measures, what is happening, we keep things from happening, right? We as Kamara say, you early diagnosis. Also, preventative medicine is far cheaper than curative medicine. But the reason most people, most health systems are curative bias because of money, right? Fun. 2, in preventative medicine, it's about behavior change. It promotes behavior change. And behavior change takes time. And people are not patient, right? So people resort to curative medicine. The money is there. There's a lot of money in curative medicine. And you can see results. So a patient come with malaria. You give them, you prescribe regimen. In few days, they are up and they're running. So you can show results, as opposed to curative medicine, where sometimes it requires behavior change. And that takes a long period of time. Just for example, a simple measure as hand washing is the cheapest means, but it really prevents disease. Just simple, consistent hand washing. All right. But now back to the point, the question you asked me regarding in the midst of the cost of seeing a professional health worker, in the absence, in the face of that, should we resort to self-medication? No, we should not. I mean, it's a dilemma we face. For example, if you have also on your skin, because you cannot afford to go to the doctor, does that mean I should put dirt in my soul? No. So if you're ill, the question is, and I know you don't have the cost to go to the doctor, and you cannot afford it, that doesn't mean you should resort to self-medication, because then you make the matter worse. Okay?
Right.
And so I would still say seek, as much as you can, seek professional help. Do not resort into self-medication, because you can do more damage. For example, last week we talked about antibiotic.
Right.
If you can do more harm if you don't take the antibiotic in the right regimen, the right dosage, and the right length of time, you it then leads to resistance strain, and it can be an untold burden on the health system and the nation. So I would say, yes, it's a dilemma. Yes, it's difficult, but I still would promote seeing a professional health worker, not a black beggar, a professional health worker.
Though it's expensive, but we should do that. But just stay right there. I have another question for you. This thing about the use of condoms. Is it really can the use of condoms really prevent sexually transmitted infection and pregnancy? Because the reason I'm asking this question is that I'm young, right? I'm a young man, and I've had lots of interaction with some young friends. Oh, my man, the Jews at the condom bozo, so she tells me that she's pregnant. Oh, the Jews at the condom bozo, so right now I have infection. What is the best way? If condoms are not helping, what then can we do? So first of all, answer the question first. Can the use of condoms really prevent sexually transmitted infection and pregnancy? If not, what can we do?
Okay, good. So that's an excellent question, Matthias. I don't want to make a disclaimer. Condom is not 100%. I mean, I think last time Dr. Marie threw a light on that about prevention. There's not as 100%. There's always a chance, right? So when it comes to condom, it's the way you talk. The people need to be taught how to, that's not for the show, how to wear condom. There is a way, okay? Because yes, if you don't wear it properly, then you have the issue of it, bursting, and you can be exposed to the fluid, right? But yes, it is a very good preventive measure. Yes. In the absence of nothing, condom does prevent pregnancy to an extent. It does prevent STD, STI. It works to an extent if you wear it properly. I want to make a disclaimer.
Right.
That I've heard women librarians say that, the reason why I don't like wearing condom because it can get stuck in you. That's not true. I mean, that's not true. Yeah, I don't like it because it gets stuck in me. No, it cannot get stuck in you.
But in an event where, because like I just mentioned, there's some people who have had experiences where maybe it burst during the process. Who gets affected in that process? Maybe that's where they come in.
Both partners. So if for example, I say there's a way to wear it, not for this class, but there's a proper way to put on a condom. Okay, there is a proper way. If you put on the proper way, it will not burst, right? So two, if it does, right, both partners are being exposed. So the male and the female can get STDs or STIs. And if a pregnancy is most likely the woman can get pregnant.
And the particle from that condom, who gets affected most from it?
The only thing with a condom that can happen would be if the woman it's not being recorded by allergies, but there's no particle to infect the woman. No, it does. Condom doesn't have that now.
Right.
But those are all myths. Those are not proven. I know people say unlike there's chemical. There's no chemical in the condom.
Okay, so
condom is a barrier mental. It's just a barrier. It prevents the mixing of bodily fluid, where you have in contact and can lead to sexually transmitted disease, right? But there's no chemical to affect the woman, affect the man, except if the woman is allergic to if it's a latex. Some people are allergic to latex, and then you may have an allergic reaction. But other than that, no.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Dr. Passaway there. I have 4 panelists. Very, very interesting conversation. I know you don't have to tell me because I'm feeling it. I'm getting the reaction every time. I just want to say to my team that you people are providing serious education, in the Liberian populace. I get confronted every time by people. They meet me places, say, hey, Matthias, that program is very educative. And most of the time, people are only lucky to catch the repeat. So I'm doing everything I can to keep the promo running throughout the week, so that people can always tune in first and third Fridays of the month. By the way, you're listening to Case Health Awareness. It's brought to you by the Kingdom Innovation School of Science in collaboration with Blessed Kids International. Blessed Kids International, by the way, is a kindergarten school, and it's run by Pastor Kapilo well with the minors out there who are attending his school. But let's move on to Dr. Mari. Do you want to weigh in on the condom, question before I move on to the next one?
Yes, and actually I would like to comment on the one before also about when to go to the doctor.
Right.
But let me address the condom first because that's fresh in my mind.
Right.
If a condom is properly applied, the protection rate is 97% against pregnancy and against sexually transmitted infections.
Right.
If it's properly applied, properly removed, and properly disposed of.
Yep.
So, and that's it. You have to use it correctly. If a man removes the condom and there's still fluid present on his penis, and then he's touching the woman again, well, you obviously it's not going to have the same effect. Now-
You're still exposing yourself to danger.
Exactly.
All right.
I mean, because the purpose of a condom is to provide a barrier for fluid transmission, for fluid exchange.
Yeah, quickly weighing on the third question. The doctor's visits are very expensive. So can I buy medication from the drugstores when I feel something unusual in the body?
Well, in my experience, Liberians are very, very quick to seek treatment for some small thing. In America, if we had a headache, we would get a cool cloth and put it on our forehead and lay down for 30 minutes. If we had a stomach pain, we would drink some water and rest. But in Liberia, it seems that people are very quick to go to the doctor, go to the clinic, and then they feel like they've wasted their time if they don't come home with the medication. And most things don't require any treatment other than time.
Right.
And not even a long time.
Let me just, so while you're there, Dr. Mary, you are, you understand nutrition very well. So let me ask you this question. Can eating the right type of food keep me healthy? By the way, what are the best type of food to eat in helping to stay healthy?
Foods definitely contribute to your overall health.
Mm-hmm.
The best advice I can give is to consume foods of many colors. When you go to the market, get a tomato, get a pawpaw, get a banana, get some greens, because each color tends to come with different vitamins and minerals associated with it. And, you could read the list of every single ingredient in every single food, and that's a waste of your time. Mix up the colors, and overall, you will have a better health.
That's another easy way of turning into a vegetarian, isn't it?
Well, no, because meat is a very valuable source of protein. Beans are also a valuable source, but that isn't Liberian culture to eat beans without meat.
Okay, so someone is asking, right? I know Dr. Pastor, we're going to weigh in on that. I'm going to get to Pastor Kamara in the studio. There's another question that has to do with environment here, and he's running a school that has a lot of children. But some of our viewers online, someone is asking a very interesting question. Sam Dopo, Sam says, please ask the doctor on the show, what does he have to say about to females who normally take antibiotics during their period without doctor recommendations?
Who is that for?
That's not for you. Okay, let me get to Dr. Passaway. Dr. Passaway, what do you think?
Yeah. Okay, that's another good question too, and I would it's another myth that most I don't want to say most female people do in Liberia, female, and what is it? There's no indication. See, to take antibiotic, you need to have an indication for the antibiotic. Having a menstrual flow is part of the normal physiology of a female. So there's no indication for antibiotics. So people need to stop that. When you take antibiotic, there must be an indication. There must be proof that you have an ongoing infection, right?
Probably she's having, let me just interject quickly. Probably, the female is having an unusual flow, unusual. Maybe 2-3 months she's not had it, and it's coming. So maybe she want to add some antibiotics to clean the system. And you hear that a lot. I just want to clean my system. Thank God I'm seeing it. So I just want to take more drugs to clean the system. What do you say to them?
Exactly. In the case of excess bleeding, excessive normal bleeding, or bleeding twice in a month, all those are not indicated by antibiotic. It could be hormonal imbalance. There's so many other reasons that has nothing to do with underlying infection, right? Even if a woman is experiencing abdominal pains during her menstrual flow, it's not an indication for antibiotic. It doesn't mean you have an underlying infection, right? So people need to desist for that, because that's why we have a lot of resistant strain, because antibiotic is being abused, and it is a very common practice. Most people do that once every month. They take antibiotic, and that much they take 1 or 2. So further, you're underdosing yourself. You building resistant strain. So I would say the best bet is refrain from it and say there's an indication, or go and see your gynecologist, or go see your primary health care.
Right.
See your doctor.
Right. Quickly, we have two more questions here. But before that, I want to ask the last question before coming to the second to the last. Pastor Kamara, is fasting, which is biblical, right? We're talking about preventive health care now. Is fasting good for our health?
Yes.
We remember now, in 2021, a guy in Kenya said he wanted to fast like Jesus Christ did. He went for 21 days and he died. I'm just kidding, by the way. Is fasting good for our health?
Yes.
How?
Now, let me be very clear on this.
Right,
okay.
right.
I am not going on the side of the medical aspect of it,
No.
but I'm going on the side of the proving theological experiences that we have gone through.
Right.
Okay. And also some medical evidences that support fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Look, number one, Jesus fasted. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he not only fasted, he also commanded his disciple to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when that happens, what fasting does is that it prevents your there's this fluid that comes out of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some contaminated fluid. What fasting does is that it takes away that bad fluid out of you. Now, the way we do it is where the problem is. Fasting does not mean that you should just stay away from water. When you are fasting, there are certain things that you cannot do. You cannot eat solid food,
mm-hmm.
but you can drink fluid. Okay,
like juices.
Yes, you can drink juices depending on the kind of fasting you're doing.
Right.
That is, they have something they call dry fast.
You have the wet fast.
They have the wet fast. Okay, now dry fast is where you go all day without eating anything, not drinking anything. Okay, for 24 hours, you can do that. Okay, but you cannot, if you are going 21 days, you drink water. You have to have water, because water replaces the fluid that is in your body. The fluid helps to build your. I think the medical practitioner on this show can tell you that water is part of our metabolism build up. It helps us to think better,
right.
and to act better.
Right.
And what have you during that period of fasting? So you are required to do that.
So one thing I also noticed about fasting, also what it does, from my observation, is that it prevents you from eating food, different variety of food, because usually when you sort of get out in the morning and just eat here and there and all of that, it restricts you.
Right.
That restriction keeps you from some other danger.
Now we're talking about the health aspect.
Right.
I'm not talking about the spiritual aspect, because that's not where we're going.
No.
Because it has a spiritual connotation to it.
The health aspect is what we're looking at.
Yeah, the health aspect is where I am concerned about. All right. It gives you a better mind. What I would say, mental health. If you have something to do with mental health, I'm talking about. Let me be clear with mine. I fasted. When I fast, my mental health condition improves greatly. I think better. I reason better, and I process better. So fast
during the period of fasting.
fasting, yeah, even after the fasting. In fact, after the fasting, that's when I really get the benefit, if you will.
Thank you so much. So there
Yeah.
you have it. You now know that fasting is also very important. So I'm going to open the lines. My last question on the list of questions I have for my panelists is: how can a safe environment help to keep you healthy? What can people do to improve the safety of their environments? Pastor Kamara gave you his own experience. Now he has hired 2 janitors in his house. All
No,
right,
the school.
The school, by the way, yeah, in a school, so they are cleaning regularly, and that will keep that environment very clean. I don't think we need to go over and over on this particular thing, on the particular question. But let's open the lines now to hear from you, our valuable listeners. And those of you watching, you can keep dropping your comments also on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page. This program, the repeat of this program, comes on Sunday from 10:15 to 11:15. You don't want to miss the repeat if you're missing out, if you're just joining us. So, 10:15 to 11:15 a.m. Call us on the numbers now: 0777 777 107, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this evening. Ask your questions. Let's hear you. How well are you?
Matthias,
Yep, Dr. Mari,
may I speak to fasting for a moment?
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, because different religions have different ways of fasting.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And most of them actually are very good for the body because they help the sugar and the insulin get into balance. They actually help the metabolism. I know that my Catholic friends who fast during Lent, they eat nothing from like midnight until 6 p.m. the next day.
Okay.
And then they have a small meal. But there is one fast that's common in Liberia that is dangerous.
What is it?
And that is the 3-day dry fast.
Mm.
No food, no water for 3 days. That is not safe for the body.
But
Yeah.
I don't think most of the time those Christians who engage themselves in such adventure, they're really concerned about the health aspect. They are concerned about the
Right.
spiritual aspect.
It should
And
be
we are looking at we are
24
looking at it
hours.
from the health aspect right now.
Yeah, 24 hours, not 3 days.
No, 24 hours is one thing. The 3 days
Yeah.
puts the body at risk.
I agree, Dr.
Right.
Mari.
That-
I
that-
totally agree with that.
There you have it. But let's have a conversation with you folks. We've extended this time because of you, because we want to provide you more education. And Kingdom Innovation School of Science, when it's finally established and is put on there online, and you people start logging on to start attending classes, you already may have gotten the benefits of what this institution is going to be like. So let's hear you. Call us on those numbers: 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223, 0777 221 223, 0777 777 107. Today we're talking about the benefits of preventive health care, which is very, very important. I've been talking to
Matthias, can I come in quickly?
Yeah, please
Since
go
we're
ahead.
waiting for call.
Please, Mr.
Yeah,
Arthur.
so with the cost of healthcare, like going to see a doctor,
Mhm.
there are certain things that we can do normally to help ourselves.
Okay.
We can work on our weight. A lot of people have worms in Liberia. Our jet break protocol, I think we should have a year, and then we need to have a balanced diet. We need to practice safe hygiene, and we need to do self-exam for both men and women. We need to do self-exam, know your body, and when something is happening, you can know that something is wrong. And we should try to reduce our salt and seasoning in our food. Those are common steps, action that we can take to improve our health care.
Okay.
And then quickly, one more thing about pepper. Pepper are not to be put into vagina, in our noses, and in our eyes. Those are not the places you put pepper. Those practices are dangerous and unsafe.
Yeah, because there's some group of people in Liberia here that say, okay, when a child is growing up, you need to prepare the child to make the child sassy the Liberian way,
Yes.
active, in other words.
Yeah. And you can damage the child forever by doing that.
Right.
Wow. A lot of ignorant thing we keep doing, but let's hear you. Call us on those numbers. You keep coming on the line and leaving. You have to be patient because this is very interesting. It's for you. That's why we're here. Call us on the numbers 0777 221 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program. This is Case Health Awareness, Kingdom Innovation School of Science, in collaboration with Blessed Kids International, have brought you this program. Dr. Passaway, how can we, how can a safe environment help to keep you healthy? What can people do to improve the safety of their environments? I am asking this question because I have an uncle who he just did first aid and nursing. But I tell you what, this man is difficult to visit. You visit his house, I swear, you have to make sure that you are the best, you are at your best in terms of personal hygiene, and his environment is completely tidy. You barely hear him talk about illness. Let me take this person on the line before I get it, Dr. Passaway. Hello.
Hello, Matthew. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Let's hear you.
Good. I want to have a question.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Seyondo.
Seyondo.
Yeah, Seyondo.
Oh, Seyondo. Yeah, let's hear you, sir.
Okay. For instance, let's take an example. With the environment that we live in, we have something called the carcinogen, where you inhale that air. And then it has something to do with the body.
You say what? Catrogen? You say what? Catrogen?
Carcinogen. That is the air that you
Carcinogen.
Carcinogen.
Oh, carcinogen. Okay.
Yeah, that comes freely and they enter the cell.
Go ahead.
They contaminate the cell. What do you do in order to get those carcinogen from the system?
Okay. Those air that you breathe in that contaminate your cells, what do you do to get there? Thanks for your question.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your question. It's very important to the discussion. We have time is gradually creeping away from us. So yes, I think we have 7 minutes to go. So call us on those numbers 0777 22123. We have actually exhausted the topic today, and to the best of my knowledge, I think people have gotten the serious education. But Dr. Passaway, I asked a question about environment before we get to talking about environment. Somebody just asked a question, regarding the same environment.
Very good. So, we did in 1997, I wrote a project, and we went in the rural area, right? We found out that diarrhea was very hard.
Okay, Dr. Passaway, please hold on a little bit. Let me just squeeze in this person. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hello. How you doing, sir?
Fine. My name is something else Newman. I'm called from Joe Community.
Something Newman from Joe Community. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question about pasta. You said that when you have pasta, you don't use purely and put in your anus. I want to ask, it is important.
Oh God, this thing is getting to somewhere. Pa, you say pa. Is that the name of that particular, sickness? Pa?
It's what we call hemorrhoid.
Oh, hemorrhoid. Okay, hemorrhoid.
Now that brand called Pa.
Yeah, Pa. All right. Yeah, Dr. Passaway. I think I encourage you. It is because the benefit what they're doing is giving freely to the Liberian society. To the radio when the program is on the air. Don't meet me somewhere and be asking me questions. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a host. So call on the radio and ask your questions. Let's squeeze in this person. Hello.
Yeah, hello,
What's the name? Morris, go ahead.
All right, thank you. What is that regarding someone continue to eat? Whether it's necessary for every day or once in a while?
For us to eat it every day or once in a while? He's asking whether this pepper thing we can eat it every day or once in a while. So we have to pause right there. Dr. Passaway, please pick up from there and answer any of the three questions that we ask. Beginning with the question I asked about the environment.
Okay, good. So I was just quickly. So we did a quickly research. We're intervening in a community, right? One thing was very common was diarrhea, very diarrhea. So what we noticed is that there was no pit latrine, right? No latrine. And what would happen, people were devastating around their houses, right? And there was high in diarrhea. So what we did, just teaching them about the environment, right? In the absence of a pit latrine, how to get rid of, your toilet, how to dig a hole, if you don't have it, and we took care of the environment. We told them about washing their hands, right? About boiling the water and putting a drop of bleach in it. And I tell you, after 6 months, I mean, it takes a while, we call behavior change. We noticed that diarrhea had gone down. We came back, they were properly disposing of their waste. They were washing their hands, they were boiling their water, and diarrhea did. Simple things we can do to improve our environment. Now, the guy will talk about the pollutant. That's why now there's a war effort about going green. Because if you have, if the environment or the air is polluted, there's little or nothing you can do about it. If the air is polluted, we have no control. So if the polluted air have carcinogen in it, so sorry, the only thing say go and see early diagnosis can lead to a better outcome. Okay, right. But we have control over our environment. How we dispose of our waste, how we keep water from piling up. That way it's a breeding ground for malaria. There's a lot of things we can do to prevent illnesses. Washing your hands, properly disposing of waste. Having boiling your water before drinking it. Those little things can really prolong our health.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Passaway, there from your end. Let me close up with Dr. Mari. Dr. Mari?
Same questions?
Yeah. Let's just wrap up from your end now. So whatever you would like to leave with the audience, because we've already exhausted out of the talking points here.
So to wrap up, eat food in as many different colors as possible, because that will bring you different vitamins, different minerals. There are certain foods that have something called antioxidants, which actually fight cancer-causing agents. So, a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables is important. Wash your hands as often as possible. Stop taking antibiotics unless you have a documented bacterial infection. If you have gonorrhea, you should take an antibiotic. If you just have some random pain, that an antibiotic is not appropriate.
Okay.
And our GI system, our digestive system, contains 80% of all the immune cells in our entire body. And if you take antibiotics, you're killing all the good bacteria that make that immunity and that causes diarrhea. And it's a habit in Liberian culture, but it's really very dangerous to the Liberian people.
All right. Prevention is better than cure. Prevention is even cheaper than treatment.
So much cheaper.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mari, for your contribution on the program today. Let me hear, I will close up with Mr. Passaway, Mr. Kamara here. Mr. Passaway has already wrapped up. Let's hear you, Mr. Atto.
Yeah, so briefly just to talk about the environment. For children, we need to keep our environment safe. We need to close our wells. We need to make sure open fires are not around where kids can get burned and have scars for lifetime. And then we also need to make sure that we are not drinking, smoking, keeping from unhealthy environment that can cause carcinogenic activities that can lead to other things. Prevention is better and cheaper than cure. So we need to practice these things so that we can live healthier and better life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Atto. Pastor Kamara.
Thank you. Excuse me. I just want to add this quick note here. What I've experienced lately in this particular dry season in Liberia, people are burning trash all over the place instead of burying them or putting them underneath the ground. I think this is dangerous for the environmental safety of this of the community. Around even behind my school, there was yesterday somebody was just burning some part of trash, and all that inhaling, that pollution just went into
and you know the trash contains a lot of things.
Yeah,
different variety of garbage.
It's really getting bad. I want to sound this to the public. Please stop this kind of thing. You are hurting your environment and yourself. You are hurting yourself. Please stop burning trashes around your house or around your neighborhood. Please, it's very bad. Very bad.
Thank you so much, Pastor Kamara. And that's it for today's edition of the program, KSF Awareness. Today's topic was the benefits of preventive healthcare. You've already, I'm very sure you've taken serious cue from a lot of things they share with you today. And the objective is basically to give you this information to prolong your health, good quality of health, and make you live long. With all these pieces of advice that was shared with you by our professional panelists, I hope you can take cue, prevent yourself, and do not always be wishing to get sick and run to the hospital and get treated. But if you prevent yourself, you live longer and healthier. Join us this Sunday from 10:15 to 11:15 for a repeat of this program. My name is Matthias Labindi. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
Sky 107.1 FM, the passion for broadcasting. We transmitting to you live from the King Booker building right here on Broad Street. At 7 o'clock, let's now bring you inside Astor Meta, Liberia.
Liberia matters to us, so Accelometer.
Good day and welcome. This is Inside Accelometer, Liberia. 30 minutes radio magazine program that tells the story of Accelometer, Liberia, and the impact the company is making in the economic and social development of Liberia. Inside AML is your one-stop shop for all the latest news and information on the working AML in Liberia.
Hey, you matter to us. You matter to us.
This program features interesting interviews with our unique programs, stakeholders, and staff of the company. Inside Accelometer Liberia is packaged and produced for airing on this and several other radio stations in Nimba, Bong, Grant, Bassa, and Mosserado counties. My name is Emmanuel Colley, your producer and presenter. Coming up, social interventions, workers' testimony, community engagements, and key activities of Accelometer Liberia, all in the spotlight. Stay tuned.
Shine, Accelometer.
Accelometer is a true partner to Liberia's development. The company is going all out to ensure that its marks are visible everywhere. Recently, the company made another huge intervention in response to the developmental needs of the communities in which it operates in. Accelometer provided additional $35,000 United States dollars to complete the construction of the Bapa Community Clinic in Nima County. We have a report by Vasta Talo.
Presenting the morning in Bapa Town recently, AML's head of government and community relations, Marcus Wule, said construction of the Bapa Clinic is a good example of what communities can achieve through partnership with concessions. Mr. Wule commended the people of Bapa community for supporting the initiative to construct the clinic.